Hi, my name is Teacher Caroline, and this is Quick Tips for VIPKid. Today I'm going to talk about keeping yourself organized when you are teaching back-to-back VIPKid classes. Under the best of circumstances, we only have 5 minutes in between class, and you want to give the same quality of lesson to the last student as you gave to the first student. How can you do that? I'm going to share with you my tips for staying organized, particularly between classes, so that you're ready to go for the next one. The very first morning that I ever taught for VIPKid, I taught 4 classes in a row. That was kind of by accident. I didn't think they'd actually fill, but I opened the slots and there I was. I had to teach them. From that morning forward, I've kind of honed my skills at keeping myself fluid and organized throughout a morning full of classes. The first step of staying organized during back-to-back classes is to make sure that you're prepared before they even start. I like to prepare my classes the night before. I fill one of these boxes for each and every class that I teach with the props that I'd like to use for that lesson. I'm going to focus this video primarily on what I do in between the classes so that I am refreshed and ready to go for the next student. In between each VIPKid class, I strive to do 10 things. That's a lot to complete, and I sometimes don't get to all of them. So I'm going to go in order of importance from the things that I absolutely must do down to the things that would be nice if I could get to. Let's get started. The first thing I have to do in between classes is to switch the student's name. There would be nothing more embarrassing than to open up the camera only to have the wrong student's name listed on the board. So I always be sure to erase it and write the next student's name. If you've seen my video about how to get rebooked after class, you know how important I think it is to incorporate your student's name in any way you can, both verbally and written. So this is super important to me, and it's my #1 thing to do. The second thing I'm sure to do between classes is to remove the stars that I rewarded during the previous class. This is a very quick thing, and it's done. Ready to go for the next student. The third thing I do to make sure that I'm ready for class is to get the reward ready. Nowadays, I mostly use Google Slides, and I show them using Manicam on the screen. So how I prepare these rewards is usually the night before I open up an internet screen with multiple tabs, one for each class that I'm going to teach. So all I have to do is go to that, make sure the correct tab is facing forward, and it will show on Manicam for me. The fourth thing I do to make sure I'm ready for the next class is to check my settings through the VIPKid app. So I check to make sure it's picking up the correct microphone, I can hear the test music, all that good stuff. The fifth thing I do to make sure I'm ready for the next class is to switch out the props. So I have props everywhere from the previous class, and I quickly put them away in my bins, and then I pull out the next class and set out those props, and they are ready to go. The sixth thing I do to prepare for class is to check my notes. The night before I teach, when I'm prepping all my classes, I might make notes for each individual class. Things like, be sure to grab the sun prop from a previous class, or the opening song is to the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Little notes that help me get through class, I read and make sure that I'm brushed up on them and ready to go. Now we're kind of getting into the things that I may or may not get to in between classes. It would be nice if I could do the following things. Number 7 is to erase all my whiteboards that I may have used during class. I might have stuff on here, I might have stuff on here. I try to erase them, and sometimes I even have something that I want to write to prepare for the next class. Number 8 is one of my favorite things to do, and that's to play music for the student before class starts. I sometimes use Pandora Disney music or any kind of music I've downloaded from iTunes that I think might be fun and set the tone for class. You can kind of gauge the student's personality and choose music that works for that student. This is a really fun one. A lot of my regulars have started playing music for me, and it's really fun to see what their taste in music is. All I do is play the music on my phone, sit it there on my desk while I'm going about my business, and the microphone picks it up. Sometimes I write music note emojis in the chat box for the student. The 9th thing I do in between classes is to greet the student in the chat box. For me, I have a standard greeting, "Hello, Olivia!" ! "Class will begin soon, smiley face Teacher Caroline." I use a program called A-Text for keyboard shortcuts. So all I have to do is put "Hello, Olivia," and then a quick shortcut, and it types out the rest of the message for me, and I send it. I love using keyboard shortcuts in so many ways for VIPKid, and I plan to make a future video about how I use it. Be sure to click the subscribe button so you can be alerted when I create that video. And number 10 is to breathe. No, this is not hokey. I really think it's important to try to calm your body down so that you don't have that frantic, "It's been 5 minutes or less in between classes and I'm freaking out." You want to seem calm, cool, and collected, and it gives the parent and the student confidence in you. The specific way that I like to breathe to rest and relax my body is to breathe in by expanding my stomach. And when I breathe out, I kind of do that yoga constricted breathing that you can hear. So if you were to fog a mirror, but close your lips, It really helps me be sure that I'm breathing. It slows down my breathing a little bit. And if you're chest breathing, you can keep being anxious. If you belly breathe, it forces your body and kind of tricks your body into calming down. So if I can possibly just take even one deep breath. Wow, I feel better already just now doing it. One question you may have is, do I write my feedback in between classes? Lately, I haven't been teaching very many classes in a row, so I'm able to just do all my feedback at the end without adding on a ton of time to my morning. But before, when I was teaching more classes, I would do feedback between classes, and that would really be my number one. I would enter the feedback immediately after class, and I do have a video on how to write effective and personalized feedback that I'll link above and below. I would enter that feedback and then continue to do all these other things. And then when the time says 28 minutes and you can click and enter your next class, I would enter it and continue to do the 10 things I talked about today. So feedback between classes for me, it just varies on how many classes I'm teaching at that time in my life. That's it for how I stay organized for back-to-back VIPKid classes. I hope some of this is helpful for you. I know each of us are very individual, and so my methods will not be your methods, and yours won't be mine. But maybe we can learn from each other and take quick tips and tricks that will work for us and incorporate them in our teaching. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this video. I hope that you'll consider clicking the subscribe button. I post new videos every week, and I love sharing information about VIPKid because it's such a great job. I also just created an Instagram account for teaching, so please go follow me there. The link is below. It's VIPKid_teacher Caroline. I'll see you next week and have a great week teaching. Bye-bye.